Welcome to Secret Dealers, the show where our team of ruthless antique experts will be rifling through ordinary people's homes and trying to persuade them to sell their most treasured possessions. Our team of dealers are about to be let loose in two houses they've never seen before.
Who lives in a house like this?
With thousands of pounds of their own money at stake, their expert knowledge will be put to the test as they compete against each other to discover the best items to leave secret bids on. In today's show, the dealers battle it out for a Windsor chair.
That's a good chair, that one.
I see, I'm up against Hainey again.
A bid for an MBE gets emotional.
Thank you very much, but wow.
And there's a big cash prize for the homeowners.
Good
That
grief.
is totally amazing.
That is fantastic.
Let's head first to the countryside of Oxfordshire and this picturesque 18th century cottage. A look inside reveals the interior to be just as charming. Choice pieces of furniture complement the cosy rooms, and there are antiques scattered all over the place. Paul and Carol live here, and they've been visiting auctions and collecting together ever since they got married 36 years ago. But that doesn't mean they feel the same way about the antiques they buy.
I get bored with them and have to seek permission to get rid of them.
And then, of course, I don't want to part with them because I fall in love with them.
And a case in point is this Majolica-style Jardiniere, circa 1900.
That is not going.
Well, wouldn't it depend on what sort of bid we got on it?
No, sorry.
Well,
But it ain't going. So that, no, it's not going.
I think we get the picture. Speaking of which, there's a 19th century oil painting in the sitting room, which they are in agreement about.
On the day, I think I really would like to see it to go because I just find it a bit dark and dour and definitely to go. Yes.
Why do you want to sell some of these things?
Mainly because we eventually will have to downsize houses.
And also because we've been here 23 years, there's one or two jobs I've never finished, which should have been finished, and now with a bit of money we could do it.
Well, the dealers are going to be here very soon.
Ah, good.
So it's time to say goodbye.
Exciting.
Okay.
With Paul and Carol gone, time to get in the dealers. David Hainey, Stuart Hofgartner and David Ford. Now, I have a quintessential, quaint English cottage for you today. The good news for you is that the inside is just as old and traditional as the outside. You better get started.
Off we go. Right, thanks, mate.
Oh, gosh, this is nice.
Oh, interesting bits and pieces.
Stuart sells a lot of antique brass.
I've got to look at these because I love these.
And straight away, he's discovered a doorstop.
Door stops, but they're really called door porters, and they are made to hold the door open. Nice cast iron base. It's going to be about 1870, 1880 looking at it. Good thing. Can't see anything wrong with it.
An ornamental and functional bit of brass, in original condition. That's got to be worth a lot to Stuart. While he's been admiring a doorstop, quick-firing David Hainey's already got down a couple of bids in a dining room. Now he's onto a Victorian cut-glass oil lamp. In the last half of the 19th century, these were the main form of lighting in the home.
Well, it's unusual to see a cut glass one. You know, this is the usual type of oil lamp here with a brass column. But having a cut glass one is quite unusual. It's the reservoir there. That holds the paraffin. It's in good order, there's no damage on it. Need a bit on the oil lamp just to see what happens, eh?
And in the living room, cautious David Ford is taking his time, carefully assessing the contents before he decides what to bid on. But now he could be about to sow the seed of a family rift, as he's taken a real liking to the Jardiniere Paul would happily sell, but Carol desperately wants to keep.
Well, that is a stunner, isn't it? It looks in good condition. And it does make a big difference to how much one pays for a Jardiniere like this. It must be perfect. Lovely colour with the paler blue and turquoise. I think if it's perfect, it's a particularly nice one. Right, let's have a go at the Jardiniere and stand first. And we'll try and make a good sporting bid.
That could set the cat amongst the pigeons. While Stuart is finding lots of bits of brass to bid on, upstairs it's the wood of a Windsor chair that David Hainey's admiring.
Nice bit of yew wood on the back and the arms. That's a good chair, that one. So, yes, sadly it's got a break on that stretcher there, but a nice chair. This is what they call a crinoline stretcher, so the ladies would sit in this chair and the crinoline dress would fit underneath. A nice chair. I'm going to leave a bid on this. There we go. See what happens with it.
Downstairs, David Ford is now in the dining room, and it seems that he wants to buy the same things as David Hainey.
Oh, they're great. What a super lamp. Oh, I really like that. Looks as though it's all original, but it's just elegant. Yes. I see David's made a bid for that. I'll try and outbid him. So
there's nothing like a bit of competition to push up the prices.
Well, the two Davids seem to have the same taste in this house. They're going for good, old-fashioned antiques. But Stuart seems to be turning into a bit of a magnet and is being drawn to all the metal, shiny things.
He's currently got his head stuck in the fireplace, which is furnished with lots of copper and brass. And what Stuart particularly likes is a set of Victorian fire irons.
They need to be a three-piece set. And there we've got the tongs, the shovel and the poker. Yep, I'll leave a bid on those.
While Stuart has been poking around in the fireplace, the oil painting so disliked by Carol has weaved a spell over David Hainey.
Do you like that, David?
I do. Do you?
Yeah, and I love the frame too.
Frame's terrific, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know who painted it, do you?
It's not signed, or at least I couldn't see a signature. The homeowners definitely would like to sell it. They're looking to put something else there.
OK, well, I like it.
If that's any help.
I like it. I'm going to make a bid.
I think that could buy it. We'll have to wait and see what Paul and Carol think. In the spare bedroom is a fine quality 19th century Windsor chair that David Hainey has bid on. It looks like he's now got some competition from David Ford.
It's a very nice chair. And there's a sort of sister to it over here. I see, I'm up against Hainey again. I better put +1, because that other chair over there certainly has a similar back.
So David is bidding for the two chairs.
I like chairs that say, come and sit in me.
It is gorgeous, isn't it?
Yes, I like it a lot. I see David's had a go at it.
Do you know what? David liked it a lot too.
Do you? You think I better strengthen my bid?
How much do you want to take it home, David?
Well, quite a lot. You don't think I'm going to take it home for that? I think I am.
Confident?
Yes.
We'll see.
You might be feeling smug now, but it's all down to what the other dealers bid and whether it's enough to tempt Paul and Carol to sell. One thing they can't agree on is a late Victorian Jardiniere. It's already attracted a bid from David Ford, and David Hainey looks like he might be about to enter the battle to buy it.
Looks in fairly nice condition. I can't see any lumps out or cracks, and it's ringing OK. So let me see if I can beat David's bid here. I see he's got the card on.
The pressure could really be on Carol now, and with only minutes to spare, there's a chance Stuart will make it a hat-trick of bids on the Windsor chair.
Lovely chair there. Does it match that one? I think it does. Looks like they've all bid on it. So a lovely chair. Best bit in the house in lots of ways. I'm also going to leave a bid on these. This is the time when you'd actually think, wouldn't it be nice to know what these two guys have put down? But I can't.
No, you can't. So for the best chance of buying this, Stuart, you're going to have to leave a high price.
Hello, hello. Time's up.
Thank you very much.
Time to go.
Right.
There was certainly a lot of competition for the contents of Paul and Carol's house, with the dealers bidding on 39 of their treasured antiques. But what would the dealers most like to be taking home with them?
I would love to take the cherub doorstop home. They're my sort of thing completely.
I really like the picture, the oil painting with a very nice Victorian frame.
I really like the Jardiniere stand. It's continental. I've made a bid for that. If I get it, I'd be very pleased, providing it's perfect.
Time now to get Paul and Carol back and reveal to them the total amount of cash the dealers have offered.
OK, so how did that feel?
Bit strange being shut out of your own house for a while.
Well, the time has been very well spent, I can assure you. And this amount is what's on the table today.
Right.
Good grief.
Struth.
Wow. I
Well,
wasn't expecting that. Wow. £4,425.
well, how will it break down?
Should we go and have a look?
I think it'd be a good idea.
First, it's the oil painting of a weaver, which Carol really doesn't like, but David Hainey loves it.
Tell me about this picture.
I bought it quite some time ago. I was intrigued because of the character in it, and he doesn't go very well with the frame, really, I feel.
The picture isn't the most commercial subject.
No.
The independent valuation is between £200 and £300.
Right.
David Hainey says £380.
Well, I think that's excellent.
Fantastic.
Very good. Happy
We have
to
a sale.
accept.
Well
We
done,
do
Wayne.
indeed.
Good, I'm pleased about that. I really like that picture.
What a brilliant result for Paul and Carol. Next, it's the brass doorstop, which Stuart adored.
So where did this doorstop come from?
I can't remember.
You've had it a long time.
Sorry about that.
Yes, yeah. No, I can't remember either.
We must have had it at least 30 years. And I just used to like unusual bits of brass.
I know somebody else who likes unusual bits of brass.
Oh,
and he's
good.
left you a bid.
Oh, excellent.
Right there.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent.
But I think the great thing about this doorstop is it's not only a really functional item, but it's very decorative. So Stuart says £150.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's excellent.
That's, yes.
Excellent. It now belongs to Stuart.
Definitely a
have-
sale. Definitely a sale, yeah.
I have to tell you that at auction, an estimate would be between 100 and 150. So that
That's good.
is
It's
a
a
very
good
good
bid.
bid.
It is more than I thought.
I love it. It was my favourite piece today, and I'm pleased to have bought it.
That's two very strong bids and two very easy decisions to sell. However, next is the Jardiniere, which Paul would like to go, but Carol wants to keep.
We've got two bids sitting
Yes, so I see.
there. I think it's quite interesting. I think it's interesting that you love it so much, Carol, because it's not very English. Although there were some key English factories who were making majolica of this type, this is very definitely continental, and you can tell that by the colours, the browns and the yellows, and just by the quality of it. So it's possibly French or Italian, I would say, not English. So we've got the Jardiniere itself and this lovely stand, and two bids.
Go.
David Hainey says £150.
No, apparently.
What did it cost, Paul?
I don't remember. Probably
It
nothing.
was a long time ago, wasn't
It was a very long time ago, but it was all part of a big deal.
So £150 cash?
Rather nice.
Not nice enough for Carol. Okay. Independent valuation, Carol, in the current market,
Yes,
between £200 and £300.
right.
If it had an English manufacturer's stamp, a George
Yes,
Jones stamp, for instance, or Wedgwood, or Minton, all of those top English names, you're talking a lot more.
Yes.
But it is continental.
Yes.
David Ford says 365.
Oh, God. It's
It's
very...
a very good bid.
It didn't cost you anything.
Don't keep saying that. I still don't want
I
it to
think
go.
it's an awfully good bid.
I know, I still don't want it to go.
So what is it that you really
I
love
don't
about
know.
it that
I
won't
don't know.
make you
It's-
part with it?
I think it's the colours mainly. I love this cobalt blue and I like the turquoise, but no, I just love the whole thing.
But I still think it's a very good bid. A very good bid.
It's tempting, but no, I still
It
want
takes
to
quite a
keep
few
it.
minutes to count that, you know.
No,
I bow to your judgment, my dear.
thank you. Oh, yeah, so
Paul,
it
you've
stays.
done the gentlemanly thing. We have no
It's
sale.
No
Right.
sale, I'm afraid.
You're staying.
As I was just going to make my bid, I did notice there was some problems with the paintwork at the base of the Jardiniere, so I think David gave a good bid.
I really did like it, but I think my bid was subject to being perfect because I couldn't get close and examine it.
Well, it doesn't matter because Carol wouldn't part with it anyway. Also staying are the brass and iron fire tools Stuart liked, a drop-leaf Victorian oak table David Hainey wanted, and a Georgian mahogany washstand both he and David Ford bid on. But have either of them bid enough for the unusual cut glass oil lamp?
Where did the oil lamp come from?
I bought that in Oxford probably 2 or 3 years ago. It's not the shade that I bought with it. I bought that later.
It doesn't fit the rest of the lamp. It's known as a petal shade, which I think is a lovely term. You can see exactly why, can't you?
Yes.
It's just like a flower.
Very much.
But it goes okay, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So 2 bids.
Excellent.
How do you feel about this, Carol?
Another bit of clutter out the way.
Another bit of clutter out of the way. You're on a mission, aren't you? David Hainey says £90.
I don't know. You know
No.
what you paid for it.
So how much was it?
I think it was £55.
So 90's
Plus
not
the
enough.
shade.
Plus the shade. Independent valuation? Between £100 and £200.
That was my feeling, yes.
Okay. David Ford says 180.
Oh wow,
That's excellent.
That's
I
good,
like David
yes,
a lot.
yeah.
Nice chap.
That's a sale.
It's awful leaving money on the table. I wish I'd bid a bit less and still got it, but still, maybe they wouldn't have sold it.
Well, it was an offer Paul and Carol couldn't refuse. They also sold David Ford a Victorian walnut button-back armchair. David Hainey walked away with 2 silver-plated claret jugs circa 1900, and Stuart paid £50 for one of their 19th century copper pans. But have any of the dealers offered enough to get Paul and Carol to sell their Windsor chairs?
Now tell me about these chairs.
The one in front of you we bought in auction a long, long time ago. This one we bought at an antique centre at Yarnton.
So, what about selling them?
Yes,
If the price is right, yes.
Well, all 3 dealers found them, and all 3 dealers have left you a bid. David Hainey just wants the armchair.
Yes.
So David Hainey says for the armchair, £240.
No.
That was very definite, Paul. What do you think, Carol?
Well, I trust Paul on this one. Yeah.
David Ford wants the single chair as well. And he says 250.
No.
Okay, we're not doing very well, are we? 2 down. Stuart, he wants them both. And he says 400.
Quick decision.
Gosh, that is a difficult one.
Tell me what you're thinking, Paul. Why is it tricky?
I had the figure of 400 in my mind for the arm on its own. Whether I would be prepared to throw the single one in is now a difficult decision.
The independent valuation on the 2 is between £400 and £500.
That's right.
That's a sort of auction estimate.
Yes.
That's cash today. But I can see you're struggling with this.
Indeed, yes.
Well, I'm going to put you out of your agony, Paul, because I can see this is a really difficult decision. I'm going to bring all 3 dealers back in here and ask all 3 of them if they want to give you another bid.
I think that would be fabulous.
Come on in, gentlemen.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Kate. Hello.
Paul and Carol, meet Stuart,
Carol, hi,
Stuart.
Paul.
David Ford,
David.
and David
Hello.
Hainey.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to
Hi.
meet you.
And you?
Now, gentlemen, here's where we are. We're talking about these 2 chairs, and I know, David Hainey, you only wanted the armchair.
That's right.
But at the moment, the highest bid is £400 for the 2 from Stuart.
Wow. Did I bid that much?
Good bid.
But we haven't got a sale, I'm afraid, gentlemen.
Oh.
So if you do want to take 1 or 2 of them home, we need another bid. It's a lot of thinking going on, isn't it?
Yes.
And not much.
I'd be willing to raise my bid a bit,
Okay.
but I'm not going to be able to get up to £400.
Well, I would agree.
Right. Stuart, how do you feel?
I'd like to buy the chairs. I'm quite happy to bid again,
Okay.
just a little bit. Is that okay?
Fantastic. Thank you. So we've got 1 new bid from Stuart Stuart says 420.
We'll go with that.
Quite happy?
Yes.
For the two?
Yes.
We have a sale.
Well done, Stuart.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
420, I'm quite pleased with that. I think the other guys probably think I'm mad, but I love it.
It was the damages that put me off slightly.
The chair does need quite a lot of repair.
Well, after all that, I think Paul and Carol are sitting pretty. In total, they were offered over £4,000 by the dealers. Time now to find out how much they sold and how much cash you could pocket in today's competition.
So, to use your words, you wanted to freshen up the place, declutter a bit, get rid of a few things. So, do you think you've achieved it today?
Yes, some bits have gone. Yes, we've
I've tried to keep a running total, but I've given up now. I have no idea.
That's what I'm for. You have made today £2,533.
Totally amazing. Brilliant. Thank you.
Go in my pocket,
Thank you for coming. Yes.
Pleasure. You're pocketing that rather quickly, Carol.
Yes, I am.
Carol has got the money and the Jardiniere, Paul. How do you feel about that?
Yes, you can't win everything, can you?
Next, we're off to Berkshire and this semi-detached house. On the outside, it's quite modern looking, but inside, it's crammed with treasures from the past. In fact, the rooms in this two-bedroom property are so full that countless boxes of collectibles have to be kept in the garage. All this belongs to Jenny, who inherited a lot of her collections from her parents. She's now decided to have a bit of a clear out and hopefully raise some money to buy a camper van.
I would like to just go round the UK and do some antique fairs, flea markets with all the stuff that I've got.
But of course there are certain items that mean more to her than others, like this MBE presented to her father by King George VI.
And he was mentioned in dispatches, and to my shame, I don't know what for. It was just, I always accepted, father's got the MBE.
So there must be a lot of sentimental things here, a lot of family pieces.
There are, yeah, some of them. It's very difficult initially to sell anything, but as the years go by, you realise you can't keep it all.
It is pretty crammed in, Jenny.
I don't even know what I've got, It's wrapped up and tucked away.
Well, I think those dealers are going to get the measure of this house and find out exactly what you've got frighteningly quickly, actually,
Really?
Jenny.
Really?
They do know their stuff.
OK.
And ready to put their rummaging expertise to the test are Alison, Simon and Karen.
Now, this is a complete treasure trove of a house. There are things literally stuffed everywhere. You better get stuck in. There's loads to keep you busy.
Thanks, Kate. OK, how about this? I have a look first, and then I'll let you in.
We're both going that way. Well, I might go upstairs first.
With Alison and Simon bagging the house, I've given Karen a tip-off about the crates of, well, goodness knows what's hidden in Jenny's garage. It's all wrapped up and has been untouched for years.
Oh, I think the mice have got here before me. It just shows it's been out here a while. Look, little mouse. Oh, I have to be a bit careful because some of this is quite fragile. Like that, it's extremely fragile, and believe that or not, it's a bit of Worcester. I wonder if the owner even knows what's here.
There's a lot of stuff, isn't
There's
there?
a lot of stuff here, but there's a lot of stuff that isn't sellable anymore.
Right.
But there is the odd bit that is, and I'm going to take a real flyer. I'm going to put a blind bid, and I could rue the day. Right.
I'll leave you to have a think.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is what you call a very daring bid, because 80% of it could be utter rubbish. But hopefully there's 1 or 2 bits in there that might make the money. Anyway, there we go.
We'll find out later if there are any hidden treasures, as our independent valuer will go through the lot. Back in the house, sneaky Alison is trying to throw the other dealers off the scent. She's leaving lots of bids, but not next to the item she actually wants to buy.
I don't feel a little confusion in this game. It hurts.
Ooh, she's always trying something. Upstairs, Simon is trying out Jenny's jewellery.
Oh, that would look really nice on a... Not on my jacket, of course.
Amongst it all is a gold garnet and opal bracelet given to Jenny by her parents as a birthday present.
This deserves a closer look. Lovely fitted box for starters. Quite a pretty bracelet. What would I give for that?
Simon and Alison are finding lots to bid on, but where's Karen gone? She should be on her way back from the garage.
I'm in the right house, aren't I?
No, that's the neighbours.
Really? Oh dear. Well, you wouldn't believe where I've been. I've done a whole tour of the neighbourhood.
Did you find anything any good?
Yeah, the neighbours.
Now Karen's back in the house, I can show Simon the goodies in the garage.
Yeah, it's in here. What do you think?
I think I'm going to get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
Well, someone's had a little look, put a bid on the lot. I definitely don't want to do that. I wouldn't know what to do with half of it, and that's the honest truth. That's quite pretty. Just a bonbon dish, I guess. Just would put on a table, maybe with little, sweets in it or something. But it's very, very fine porcelain. It's almost paper thin. It's quite pretty, though. I'm definitely going to leave a little bid on that, because it's caught my attention.
It's a very pretty piece of Worcester, but is that all you could find? With Simon out of the house, Alison gets stuck into the jewellery.
Interesting.
She's found the garnet and opal bracelet, which was a birthday present to Jenny. And a gold comet brooch.
These are probably paste, but it represents Harry's comet. And someone's been here before, as we know, but not spotted it.
But oh look, she's up to her games again.
Hello. Hello, how are you doing up here?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Ooh, lots of gems.
Have you finished downstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah? Lily?
Yeah.
Karen seems to think you might have missed a few things. Does she?
Yeah.
Like what?
You better go and have a look.
I will, I'll go and have a look.
I know your game, Alison. And downstairs in the living room, Karen has spotted a skeleton clock. But it's not quite right.
It should be under a dome. But it's in a case. I haven't seen that before. It's literally called a skeleton clock because you can just see the skeletal works of it. And when that's up and running, you can actually see it, all the cogs going round. It's fascinating to watch, but it's not running at the moment, so I can't demonstrate. But anyway, there you go.
You're taking an awful long time in that cabinet, Karen.
I know, I had this problem with Alison as well.
Have you been upstairs yet?
There must be. No, is there stuff upstairs?
There's some jewellery and stuff up there.
Ooh, got a dash.
Go on in, hurry up.
Well, Simon knew how to get rid of Karen. Now, what's Alison up to? Bidding on a stuffed frog? I don't think so. Oh, what's she spotted now? It's Jenny's father's MBE, which Jenny said money couldn't buy. And it comes with its presentation letter, signed by George VI.
Don't know what it's worth. I'm gonna give it a whirl.
Jenny doesn't know why her father was awarded the MBE. I might have a surprise for her later. Simon's putting down lots of bids on the small pretty things in the cabinet. But I know he likes his clocks too.
You like the clock?
Well, I was just about to talk about it. It's a skeleton clock. Obviously, the dome at some stage has got broken or it's been replaced. But it's certainly worth a bid, isn't it?
Worth a punt, I would say.
What, 20 quid?
Well, that might be a bit more than 20 quid, I would say.
I would say it would be as well.
Oh, you've got to keep an eye on these dealers. Just time to go and check on Karen.
What do you think of the jewellery then?
This isn't me, be honest, because it's all costumey.
Just have a really close look.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Didn't see that. Yes. That's lovely. That's garnets, isn't it? Garnet in opals. Oh, that's super quality. Rather beautiful piece of jewellery. Now, the danger with me not being a jewellery dealer is that I'll put too much down.
We don't mind that.
Yeah, no, I don't think you or the owner would mind in the slightest.
But will it be enough to tempt Jenny to part with it?
Time's up. OK, you two.
We gotta go. Come on then.
Well, what an eventful time the dealers have had.
Bye.
In total, they bid on 36 of Jenny's precious belongings. But which items do they most want?
I think the most interesting thing was the skeleton clock. I think there was a bit of mileage in that one.
It's missing its glass dome, but it's still quite an easy thing to sell, so I'd be quite happy to buy that.
Well, if I had to have anything, it'd probably be the MBE. I've got no idea what they're worth, but it must be worth having.
Time to get Jenny back and find out how much cash she could raise today.
Well, in this envelope is the total amount that's on offer today.
Okay. Wow, £3,425. Gosh.
What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Our secret dealers have left over £3,000 worth of bids on Jenny's belongings. But now she has to decide what to keep and what to sell. First, it's the skeleton clock that both Simon and Karen wanted most.
Jenny, what can you tell me about this clock?
It was my grandparents. It might even have been their parents before them. Never honestly particularly liked it.
Has it always been in this oak case?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting, because I think originally it would have been put in a glass dome.
Yeah.
Because they were made to really showcase the talent of the clockmaker, so you could see the inner workings of the clock. You've got two bids here, Jenny.
Okay.
Both Simon and Karen want your clock.
Right.
Karen says £220.
Okay.
The independent valuation on this piece is between £200 and £300.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Tempted.
Do you want to see Simon's bid?
Go on then. It's only fair.
Simon says £290.
That's a no-brainer. Thank you, Simon.
We've got a sale.
We've got a sale.
Oh, no, not Simon, £290. Wait till I see him.
I'm really pleased to buy the skeleton clock. I shall try and find a glass dome to put over it so it's sort of back to its original condition.
Well, that was a good bid from Simon. Now, all the boxes in the garage have been unpacked, and amongst all the bits and pieces are some valuable items, such as this jar by French glassmaker Lalique. Karen bid on it all blind, but will she have bid enough?
How long has all this stuff been packed away?
12.5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So Karen actually had a real gamble up here. She didn't really look what was in the boxes. She just gave you a bid.
Gosh.
Simon came up here and he wanted one piece, which he did unpack.
Yeah.
And that was this piece of Granger Worcester.
Yeah.
Simon has left you bid on this piece for £25.
I think I'd want more than that. What do you think?
Well, an independent valuation would be between £40 and £60.
Yeah. No, I think I would like a bit more for that, actually.
Well, you have got another bid, Jenny.
Okay.
And that bid is Karen's.
Right.
Karen's bid is not only for this little Worcester basket.
Yeah.
It's for everything you see here that's been unpacked. And Karen has bid you, without even looking what was in the boxes, £180. Now, you've got a lot of things here, Jenny. You've got glass, pottery, all sorts of things. But the thing that I really like, particularly, is this lovely little Lalique jar and stopper. Lovely little bit of frosted glass, probably post-1940s. That's a really nice piece.
Yes.
£180 cash.
Yes, no, I don't think so.
I have to tell you that the independent valuation on all of this is probably between £300 and £400.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring in Karen and Simon to have a look at what's been unpacked and consider giving you another bid.
Okay.
Karen and Simon, come on in.
So.
Jenny, meet Karen.
Karen, how do you do?
And Simon.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello,
Nice to meet
Simon.
you.
Hi.
Simon, you've bid £25 on this piece of Worcester. Karen, you've bid £180 on the whole
I'm a girl,
lot.
aren't I?
The estimate on this that's been unpacked is £300 to £400. Therefore, you need to rebid.
And I'm just trying to see where there's £300 to £400, to be quite honest. There's a Lilique bowl there, isn't there?
I wouldn't want to rebid on the lot, but I'm quite happy to rebid on the little bit of Worcester. If that's
Okay,
any.
so you want just the Worcester, Simon?
And I wouldn't mind bidding on the Lalique thing.
Okay.
What now?
Now bid. Thank you. Lovely, thank you. Okay, Jenny. Simon says for the Lalique jar and the piece of Worcester, £110.
Okay.
We know the estimate on the piece of Worcester is between £40 and £60 as a rough auction guide.
Yeah.
On the Lalique, I would say an auction estimate would be between £80 and £120. What do you think, Jenny?
I think no, thanks very much.
Karen has bid you on the lot, including those two pieces.
Okay.
Karen says the same, I'm sorry, £180.
Yeah, no, I appreciate, your stance, but again, I'll say no for that, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No sale, but you've got to give it to Karen.
Yes, definitely.
She's got nerves of steel, this girl.
That was
Very brave,
brave.
I have to say.
I think I was pretty much spot on. 300 quid, couldn't see it.
I think she might have been quite lucky not to buy that lot, if I'm really honest.
Well, I think Jenny was right not to sell. She also decided to keep a gold fox bar brooch, a collection of 3 Victorian scent bottles and a 19th century Swiss enamel pillbox. But what about that garnet and opal bracelet that was a birthday present from her parents? She's already turned down bids from Simon and Alison. What will she make of Karen's bid?
The independent valuation on this piece
Yeah.
is between 150 and 200.
Yeah.
Karen had a really good look at this and said 230.
Thank you, Karen. Deal.
That's a sale.
It is.
Another great result for Jenny, who also sold a gold and pearl swallow brooch to Alison, a 19th century silver Japanese box to Simon, and a Victorian wooden decoy duck to Karen. Now it's the MBE awarded to Jenny's father. She says she won't sell it, but there's a bid from Alison, and I've also got some surprise information for her.
So you've grown up with this, knowing your father had this, and it's come down to you, obviously his medal and the indenture, signed by George VI here. Mm-hmm. And it was obviously awarded for his services in the war, but you don't know specifically what for.
No.
Okay. Alison has left you a bid for this. How do you feel about that?
Money wouldn't buy it.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah, please.
Well, Alison has bid you £50.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Now, if you're going to put a monetary value on these things, an independent valuation is between £100 and £150 for this. I do have actually a bit of a surprise for you, Jenny, because you said to me actually that you feel quite gutted that you don't know specifically what this was awarded for. We've done a little bit of research in military archives, and I have here the recommendation that was sent from the artillery before he was awarded his MBE. And it reads, Major Seaborne's exceptional drive and outstanding personality have during the last 6 months been a main factor in enabling artillery units of the Army, RAF Regiment and Allies to master the ever-changing drills and procedures which are characteristic of artillery gunnery. Major Seaborne has been recommended to me on 2 previous occasions for recognition.
Sorry. Thank you very much, but wow. Didn't see that coming, did I?
How proud are you, Jenny, of your father?
Very. I've learned a lot today. Thank you so much.
I'm delighted that you now know specifically why he got this award, and I'm delighted you're going to hold on to it.
It's not going anywhere.
If I had a member of my family that had achieved an MBE, I wouldn't sell it either. So good on her.
There are some things you just can't put a price on, but I'm delighted that I've been able to fill Jenny in on her dad's bravery. Time now to reveal to Jenny how much she's made from all the things she has sold.
Well, you have made today, Jenny, £1,835.
Wow, thank you very much. Yeah, fantastic. Yes, I'll go towards my camper van.
So what are you going to do in your camper van?
Go to flea markets and antique fairs with all my boxes.
Our dealers today have given the homeowners over £4,000 in cash for their belongings. But how have the dealers fared with the items they bought? Stuart is keeping the brass doorstop in stock, and the Windsor chairs he bought are currently on hold for a client. Simon will be taking the skeleton clock to an antiques fair later in the year. And David Hainey has put the oil painting of a weaver on display in his shop. But David Ford has sold the oil lamp for £220 to a neighbour who admired it. As for the homeowners...
Yeah, but that's a major job, isn't it?
No.
Paul and Carol are going to rejuvenate their kitchen once they can agree a plan. And Jenny is hunting for the perfect camper van to take her boxes to flea markets and boot sales.
I'll see you next time on Secret Dealers.